Hi, I'm Jamie Palmer, online business coach and simplifier for driven entrepreneurs, service providers, and coaches who want to build and scale their online business. I am the creator of the Business Ecosystem program that helps entrepreneurs focus on one signature program so that they can create more freedom in their lives. In today's video, I am going to share with you how to create a lead magnet in Canva. I want to thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video today. If you are enjoying this content about marketing and you want to receive other content from us around business tips, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We put out new videos each and every Tuesday. Back in 2003, the only way to get beautifully designed graphics and lead magnets in your business was to either hire a designer, which costs a lot of money, or it was to learn Photoshop or Illustrator yourself. However, today you have the ability to be able to create beautifully created designs inside of Canva. And many of the templates and tools that you can find inside Canva are like what you would get from a high-end designer. So today I'm going to take you behind the scenes for how to create your very own lead magnet inside Canva. When I go to design anything in Canva, one of the first things that I like to do is get myself set up. So I will take out the document where I've written whatever it is that I'm going to work on, and just make sure everything is organized. Once I have everything organized, I then go into Canva here and I will start to look at different templates. So when you're creating a lead magnet in here and you're doing potentially some sort of checklist, you can actually go into Canva and you can see here that you can create your own blank checklist, or you can search through all of the different templates that they have. So one of the things that I encourage you to do is think about how the information that you have is going to be best displayed. So I typically start with some sort of blank template, and this template will be the size of an 8.5 by 11 US letter paper, and I will call this my lead magnet template. So from there, I will then go through and find, as I mentioned, 3 or 4 different templates that are going to help visually represent what it is I want to do inside of my lead magnet. So for example, that's probably not the best example there, but say I will come into, what do we like here? Something like this. Let's use this as an example because this is a good visual way to explain information. So I will come into this and I will copy it over. So if you're on a Mac, Command C, if you're on a PC, Control C, and then you're going to copy that, and then you come over to your lead magnet and you paste that in there. So then you add another page and I just duplicate the page and then delete it, or you can just hit add page down here. And then I will say, okay, I'm also going to want a ebook cover. And then I will go in here and I will pick a cover that I like. So say I like this cover, and I will then take that cover and copy it over into the lead magnet that I have here. And didn't copy exactly because the background is part of the thing here. And then I will also come on over here. You can also search on this side, and I will say I want like an infographic. And say I want to use something like this with a left and a right. And then I also want something like a, let's see, I want a calendar in here as well as an example. So I'm going to grab a calendar and I'm going to find one that's vertical. I'll take this one and I will copy that over. And then I copy, then I paste, and I'll clean that up later so that that looks nice. And then I could also say I want a lesson plan in here, because a lesson plan is a really great way to display information. So I'll put not exactly what I'm looking for. So you can use the template search over here. I don't find that it's actually as good as when I go into this side. So that's where I usually search from. So let's say like lesson plan. So then I will look over here and say, I like this lesson plan, and I'll copy that and then I'll paste it in here. And ultimately what I do is I get all of the different ways in which I want to display my information organized. I get them all in here. So these are all the different ways. So we can also go in here and say like, okay, I want, because we got to get some places to actually put some copy, right? So here's a good example. So let me take this and copy it over and then put that into my template as well. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to pull up one more template over here, and I'm going to say, let's like look for a letter, right? So we want something that has lots of room for me to potentially write. So I'm going to take this right here and I'm not going to use it as a letter, but I'm going to use the template of it. And then what I do is I go through and I use my brand that I have in here, and I turn all the fonts into fonts that I would use, and I change all the colors into colors that I would use. And I go through and I do that for each and every single one of these pages, because what I like to do is get everything squared away so that I can just input the information. So again, I go through each thing and I just sort of clean it up. I clean up the colors, I clean up the copy, and I just make sure it's all consistent. Now that all my fonts and colors are all similar for the most part, I forgot to do that one. That's okay. You guys will understand exactly what I mean. Once I get all my colors and stuff situated, that's when I start to get into the nitty gritty of copying and pasting my content in here. So then I would go through and visually display my content based on all the different templates that I chose. And as you go through that process, you probably will have to go back over and search for other letters and search for different ways in which you can display certain information. And again, you just go down, add a page, change the fonts and colors. So once you get all the information in there, I then like to go through and make sure that A, all my fonts are the same, B, all my colors are in alignment with my brand, and then I make sure that I have lots of white space. Once I go through and have done those things, I will then come in here and do some copy design. Now, copy design is basically when you go through and you underline and you italicize and you in bold things that you want people to pay specific attention to. So you'd go through, and that's generally more when you get into
this sort of having more copy in there when there's a fair amount of copy. So like, for example, if you wanted to draw people in to make money, you'd bold that, and you go through and you bold, you underline, you italicize different things in different areas where you really want to draw the eye into. So you make sure that you have that copy design in place. The next and kind of final thing that I like to do is print it out, read through it, and then download it over here so that you can share it with the world. So I always download the PDF print, and then I would hit download. As a bonus tip, one of the things that I always like to do is file and then make a copy of this and call it your master lead magnet template, because it becomes really easy once you have a bunch of these templates that you've worked through and you've changed the fonts and the colors to your brand. It becomes really easy next time you have to create a PDF or a workbook or another lead magnet. You already have a basis with which how you like to display your content, so the process becomes faster.
So I'd love for you to tell me, what is it that you like about Canva? If you are loving this content and want to learn more about getting the proper foundation in your business so that you can build a multi-6 and 7-figure business, be sure to get on the wait list for my new signature program, The Foundation. You can head on over to www.thefoundation.systems. In this course, we're going to work together for 90 days where we can plan, profit, package, productize, and prioritize all of the things that you need to do to bring your business online. If you are enjoying this video, be sure to let me know by liking it, commenting it below, and sharing with a business bestie.